Part 4. She is floating in an open field, remembering / haunted by her work as a pregnant video model for the Cool Art magazine. This scary art show in Chelsea aestheticizing basement dweller incel lifestyle. Therapeutic soundscapes at least, but also amping up the dissonance. All that cool art world adjacent she courted in the city in 2012 had enough taste and free time and dissociative skills to stand outside of her desire to be the center of attention. She could stand around and feel small and be harmless and soak it all in. Cell veils set at different crystalline structures let different cosmic lights through, so to speak. Her phone was still in her hand, so she watched a video on how caterpillars metamorphosize. They liquefy and digest themselves. The fruit of life and the eater of the fruit of life in one. I am the two in one. The video didn't describe it as pooping out a more nimble and visual version of themselves, but it kind of alluded to that. A diary of the future, Xenon of the 21st century. How did she fall into that sacred trap? The trap of watching Xenon, girl of the 21st century, on repeat on spring break, her sophomore year of college, with her abusive, sensitive construction worker boyfriend visiting his dormant, abusive father and his new wife somewhere outside of Sacramento. It was before 9/11, and the boy smuggled a 20-sack in his sock. Even after 9/11, he smuggled 2 e-pills to Antalya via Paris, so he had some confidence, but also small imagination energy. She thought to herself in a kind of fuguey, confused state, her mind clouded with love trauma. If his hands hadn't been shaking when he gave me his number, I wouldn't think twice, but yes, still a sucker for a filler BB, ignoring the energy mismatch, excuse premise floating, all the pieces of me. Biofilmed with horny flora down there now. She lost her ballast when she redacted, opened up the interstitial spaces, sensory overload, in the sensory deprivation tank, so to speak. She wavered, low resolution, no answer, no exit. Her feet barely touched the ground. She almost floated across the field. She felt moire-like parallel versions of herself intersected at a slight angle. She felt knit. She was wearing cashmere, knit with frosted tips, a fuzzy bundle, comfy sandals she built herself, some kind of magic backpack and a plan, earplugs and an eye mask. She knew she would never sleep out there, but just in case, she needed a moment. This time she was crossing the desert by her own self. She had plenty of people to meet up with, baby. There was a whole temporary city built out of art that used to come across somewhat subversive, but now the tech bros were just so obnoxious. VIP exclusive camps. There were real rumblings of sabotage this time, of class unrest. The closer she got, the stronger they sounded, maybe. A strike between Tiesto's set and Bass Nectar's set. August 2020, and it feels like the future. The Desert Festy feels so different, but also timeless. She switches her jewel to DMT setting and breathes in hyper-specificity. The world is covered in various bubbles, iridescent and glow in the dark. She vaguely drifts through. Ellie Goulding is supposed to be there, and Halsey. Everyone looks so beautiful, and their voices are so beautiful. Somehow she has made it to Center Camp, the center of festive space where they sell coffee and loners mingle. She feels like she's inside her memory of the bar in Star Wars, future and the past, watching it on a screen somehow, a screen fuzzy and deep, the dust in the air like low resolution, grainy, her eyes fluttering like 24 frames per second. She can't tell the temperature or the time. Her intrusive thought of how Grimes and Elon Musk are supposed to be there, either declaring their joint bid for the presidency or announcing the launch of the Khan Citizenship Initiative, access to support, under their physical location, they will say. They're dangerous, obviously. Maybe the authoritarians around the globe have already been visited by some kind of moral inversion. Maybe they are already giving all their money and power away. Bolsonaro is ceding it all back to the indigenous. Trump doing a total 180 that is materially genuine, at least. Donating his properties to the indigenous tribes whose lands they stood on, and his profits as reparation to the people whose people he and his people had exploited, excluded, and enslaved. His goods and his social power to women and femmes. And maybe already now he sits with nothing beyond the basics, a form of voluntary bankruptcy. Rumor had it he was coming to Burning Man on Saturday, stumping for 2020. Rumor had it there was something important. The Jubilee movement had gone viral in the past year. Jubilee movement asked for material reset to default, not only global forgiveness of all debts, but also erasure of assets, and starting over. Deep Jubilee also working to imagine how to keep it from happening again. The concentration of power, asset hoarding that made the world feel so desperate, precarious and threatening, or at least one of the aspects they attributed those feelings to. They were working together with other radicals, of course, diversity of tactics and techniques. Some foregrounded the atmospheric decarbonization efforts, of course. Others, interpersonal healing and true care. They were all out at the Festi and the Salt Flats laying groundwork, making plans and pitches, the radicals of different flavors. She could feel it. She could feel them tunneling. She felt veins of water slenderly tunneling through the earth, lit through like fiber optics. She switched her jewel to ketamine setting. Retrofitted as ketamine, insufflation only, no battery. She felt like she was going to run into someone if I'm not careful, she said to herself, her mind turning to clothing, deciding to disguise, to alter ego, to augment, to dazzle her outfit, maybe like to bring out different aspects of herself. Fashion as add-on personality item. Thinking of Cat-Type Spy, she couldn't remember how she came across it, but she could remember how carefully it described clothes and what they meant to the protagonist, commitment of significance. She liked that part. All the Vogue.com runway sets she thumbed through before bed and the good dreams they gave her. In the corner of center camp was costume closet. She wanted something long and neon. Maybe an oversized hoodie over something silk or microfiber mesh. Maybe some fringe. In the center of center camp was a stage. On the stage, there was suddenly a feeling of presence, maybe commotion, some kind of psychic gravity pulling attention towards it. On the other hand, she felt pulled to the costume closet. Reverse polarity, she said to herself as she arrived at the racks of clothing, began thumbing through. There was no floor-length neon slip dress, no oversized hoodie that held her interest. Lots of sequins and mesh, drum majorette. After careful hours relating to each garment, she found her outfit. Lavender wide-leg parachute overalls, ripstop nylon or wide-well corduroy, bib down and straps swooping around back. Duckling yellow boat neck crop top, fuzzy sweater, outlandishly fuzzy though. Maybe a jacket with shearling collar and cuffs. A length of iridescent tinsel garland tied around the base of her ponytail, 2 strands dangling just to the ground, and / wore a clear vinyl visor, pink, oversized. Added to her handmade sandals ribbons, woven an extra inch of platform, perhaps a charm or two of your choice, toenail polish, 2 ball chain necklaces and amber safety glasses from her magic bag, silver eyeliner, and neon sunset lipstick, baby blue or orange. She felt kind of confident, kind of cyber pretty. Cosplaying as the gummy cheeseburger version of her Candy River self from 1999, cute caricature, sweeter and faker. She slipped on her broken mood ring. She turned back to the clothing rack one more time, just as 2 garments parted, pulled side to side by someone other on the other side of the rack. They met eyes through the clothes, faces framed by 70s maxi dresses. To her, there was an instant understanding, as can happen to me at festies, she thought to herself, remembering all the times she had instantly fallen in love on the dance floor in the ashes. She switched her jewel back to DMT setting, offered it to the person across from her. In the cloud of smoke now around them, iridescent secrets made clear. Bet. She offered her jewel to the stranger. It's on DMT setting, she said. What? Said the stranger, leaning their head closer. DMT and my jewel, she said into their ear. Ah, said the stranger, interesting. Maybe later if that's okay. Okay, for sure, she said, smiling maybe, feeling euphoric but peaceful, not manic, but with a strong feeling in her eyes, extra receptivity. She looked back at the stranger and saw they had an aura, a hot pink line of light edging their silhouette. Through my eyes, you have an aura right now, she said, maybe thanks to the DMT and the backlighting. Ooh, an aura, is it pink? DMT always makes me see pink, said the stranger. Anyway, cool. Whatever's thanks to, I say thank you.